Jarvis, drop my needle.
Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and if you are interested in listening to idiots, you came to the right place. Have a nice day.
Woo! That's an attention getter.
He's a very strange young man.
He's an idiot.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
Oh my God, he's an idiot.
You know, of course, that you're out of your jurisdiction.
Personally, I think you're an idiot.
But that's the evidence in the car.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Always like to keep my audience riveted.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, friends and fiends, and welcome to Free Range Idiocy, the podcast about everything, but mostly just the stuff we like. After what seems like, a century worth of wait, it looks like we'll finally get some sort of birth of the multiverse story happening in the upcoming MCU movie. Or will we? I mean, who the hell really knows? Really? Nobody knows. But we're going to dive into all of the rumors surrounding the release of that movie so that maybe we have a chance at predicting it. Probably not. But this is the first Marvel movie of 2023, so let's get at it in this episode 125, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, the real or the Jabroni?
You are worse than Hulk Hogan.
I am your Uncle Todd, and with me, as always, is the man who wishes he had the power to make any steak he comes in contact with 10 times larger than it already is. He has been my partner in idiocy for over 2 decades and is an owner of a timeshare in the quantum realm. I give you the man they call Tim.
Greetings and salutations, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How is your timeshare, by the way?
It's lovely.
What are the fees like on the quantum realm? I mean, there is a maintenance fee, I'm assuming, still, right?
Well, they take crypto, so
Of
read
course
into
they
that
do.
what you may.
They take Dogecoin.
I don't know if they take the Doge, but
We really missed out on that. We should have really tried to get our own crypto coin going before the whole thing just crapped
an
the bed.
NFT, free range idiocy NFT.
Oh my gosh, what a scam all that stuff is. I mean, I'm still firm. I mean, there's still people out there who are like, oh no, crypto man's win. NFTs. I'm like, it just seems like a complete scam.
I just want to know who starts the snowball that rolls down the hill and becomes the massive boulder that becomes this movement. It's incredible.
I don't know. I'm just blaming Elon Musk because I blame him for most everything these days, including when I run out of like toilet paper in my bathroom. I'm like, damn you, Musk!
You are worse than Hulk Hogan.
I get some water in my eye. It's his fault.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good way to go. You know, Mollusk is, he's just blamed for everything.
Nothing like seeing him sitting with Rupert Murdoch last night.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started. All right, well, we do have a show, and it is so weird because we just recorded the end of the last show yesterday, and then we both stayed up for the Super Bowl, and then went to work today. So we're both a little bit delirious and just kind of, a little more cracked than usual. Not on crack, just mentally cracked. So we are going to talk about the new Ant-Man and Wasp movie, Quantumania, along with Kang. It's got to be Kang! But before we get to that, we got a little thing called The Week in Geek.
The Week in Geek.
Feels so funky.
What do we got this week, sir? Or what do we got tonight? Since it seems like we just recorded one of these yesterday.
Well,
what were you able to come up with?
Just for the peoples. So we're our prior episode was Frankenstein. So we recorded kind of the beginning and the end of it last night, which was an hour before the Super Bowl started. And here we are recording the day after the Super Bowl to review just our picks and just our thoughts on the game. And so it just I feel like I'm in a little bit of a quantum realm right now, as a matter of fact. It just feels very, very odd, very different.
Yes. And half the city of Philadelphia is here with us, which is
is
a little rough.
I don't know if I want to, I don't know if I want to take responsibility for this, but basically, first, this Week in Geek will be very Super Bowl focused. And first item right out of the gate, got to address the elephant in the room here. Sir, we have a streak. We are not streaking, and there isn't a streak, but we have a actual streak going on right now with our Super Bowl picks. We do. Last year, we both wanted to see the Bengals win.
Mm-hmm.
They lost.
They did.
Last night, we both picked the Eagles an hour before the game.
We did.
They lost.
Yes, they did. Oh, gosh.
The Undertaker is jealous that there's a 2-0 streak going and he doesn't own it. Well, he was in a Super Bowl commercial. So.
I know, which was kind of weird to see. Yeah. So to the folks in Cincinnati and Philadelphia, rest in peace. I mean, I'm sorry, but I even said it on the show. Like, we both picked Philadelphia, and I was like, I'd like to be the first to congratulate Kansas City on their Super Bowl win tonight. It just seemed like it was in the stars when we were both that emphatic about it.
Yeah.
Oh, we are like, it's us and then the Madden curse. Those are the two. That's what we got going. I don't even know if the Madden curse is the thing anymore. Do they even put someone on the front cover of that thing anymore, or is it just like Roger Goodell every year in wishful thinking,
with the hopes that he would disappear, right?
Hoping that he gets run over by a golf cart during the off season or something, you know?
Yeah. Well, for the record, Uncle Todd had the Eagles at a score of 35-30.
I was actually closest to the score. I would like to say that.
You were. And the man they called him also had the Eagles, but 27-24, which was close about at the third quarter mark. So.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, quite honestly, it was a fun game if you didn't have a dog in the fight. You know, if you didn't have a real rooting interest, it was a pretty fun game to watch.
Incredible. Jalen Hurt was
for about
incredible.
about 2.5 quarters, yes, he was. It was very weird. Like, if you took Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes and you took their games and mashed them together, you had an all-time great performance. But as it was, it seems like they each took like one half off.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing. Honestly, I think it's because it seemed like all of the stuff that Philadelphia was doing really well at the beginning of the game. They couldn't do it in the second half. You know, Kansas City figured something out, or maybe it was just the chips weren't falling the same way. But man, they did not adjust the same way.
There were some calls that were like a little ridiculous in my book. Now, I'm not talking about the last one because I was talking to my dad today, and he was venting about that call. I said, Dad, the guy who did it basically admitted to it in a press conference, so there really is no controversy here.
Well, the other thing too is, like, at a certain point, like, I get it, and believe me, and I'm saying this as a lapsed NFL fan who really doesn't have any rooting interest, but I go back to like the Tuck game with the Raiders and the Patriots.
Yeah.
At a certain point, you have to own the fact that you are in that close of a game, that you're in a position where the refs can muck it up.
Yeah.
Like, you have to at least take, I'm not saying you take all the ownership, but you got to take like 20-30% ownership. Like, we shouldn't have been in that position. I mean, Philly had the game locked at halftime. The only reason KC was still in it is because they got that one fumble recovery for a touchdown. Otherwise, ain't nothing going right for them.
If that mistake doesn't happen, they win by a touchdown.
And
Absolutely.
You've got the best defense in the league. They were talking about how historic they were. They couldn't lay a finger on Mahomes most of the night. I mean, did they even get a sack?
That's a bit of a stretch. They almost got him several times, and
almost doesn't count. I'm sorry, sir. They don't.
I would say Hurts looked much more mobile and much more on the ball than Mahomes did, because Mahomes, he didn't get creamed, but he damn near sure got it. So.
I know, but at the same time, like, we're talking about when you mention your defense, or you're mentioning a defense in the same breath as the 85-86, 84-86 Bears. I mean, and you come up like that, at some point you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, we have a piece in that. We have a decent piece in that. I'm sorry. I can't go all the way. No, it was a bad call. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's a bad call to decide a Super Bowl, but you had him at halftime. And you had the best league. You had the best defense in the league and a really good offense.
I am with you 100%. Not justifying what is being complained about. Just saying that. I mean, I agree with you. It's when games are that close, it comes down to the mistakes, right? It's a game of inches and a game of mistakes, and Philly made one more mistake than the Chiefs did, and so. But I mean, not to take anything away from them. I mean, for crying out loud, the way I described it to my parents is watching the Philly offensive line do those QB sneaks was like watching a bulldozer go under the earth and lift it up and dump it. I mean, like,
it was
every
ridiculous.
single time
It was
they
a wave.
just pushed the Chiefs D line at will.
It was a surge. It was, and the commentators had it right. Like there are offensive line coaches across America right now, just like beaming, like, yes, this is what it's supposed to be like, and they
absolutely.
did. I mean, the number of times that offensive line just physically pushed the entire KC defense backwards 2-3 yards.
Yeah.
On those. And I mean, like the one time, one of the ones when they were doing a goal line push and they were waiting on calling it. And I'm like, Jalen Hurts' body is in the end zone. I'm pretty sure he crossed the goal line. I'm not sure why you're waiting to call this. Number one is laying in the end zone completely. I'm pretty sure he scored.
Yeah.
But, again, they want to be sure. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
And I got to tip my hat to Eagles coach Nick Sirianni, because you don't understand how much it made me smile to see him. And I heard the commentators talk about this is something he's been doing all season. The team's been doing all season, how they look at the possession of the ball as they have, 4 full downs. Like there is no fourth down. We're just punting it away. If there's a shot for us to get a first down, we are going to go for it. That is how I used to play Madden back in the day. And it makes me proud to see someone finally coaching. You and I used to say, if we were coaching, this is what we do. It'd be a different game. And now we finally are being represented on the field. I'm glad to see Nick Sirianni. Hats off to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Coach Lombardi. I appreciate your input on this. But the fact is, one of the reasons he is able to do that is that his defense is that good. So if they turn the ball over on downs, there's a better than average chance that their defense can bail them out. And you're also dealing with a really mobile quarterback plus an offensive line that can just push most people around. Now, that being said, there were a couple times, especially in that second half, when they were trying to open up holes, they were trying to run the ball, and they could not block. I don't know what happened from complete domination to just not being able to open up a big enough hole to get your running back through. I'm not sure what happened, but but then again, here's one of the reasons why I will say, and I've watched KC now, when they played against, what was it? The first one was against San Fran, and then they played against the Bucks and this Super Bowl. I get that Mahomes is he's got 2 MVPs, he's got 2 Super Bowl MVPs, he has 2 championships now. Great. And I get that we're kind of starting to talk about, and I even mentioned it when we talked about Brady retiring, like, is this a guy who could start competing and could eventually? I don't know how you manage to run this same game plan where essentially you are just in neutral for 3/4 of the game, and then you just pour it on at the end. Like, I get it. And I get that it's a championship game, and I get that in this case, you're playing like the 2 best teams in the league. So I can kind of understand this one, but it just seems to be a thing with him. And I'm like, how and we kind of saw it with against the Bucks. Like you let another team jump all over you, and you have a competent coach and quarterback, and guess what? You ain't getting back up. Yeah. But anyways, it was a fun game to watch. I gotta say both quarterbacks did wind up playing really well. I didn't think KC had a shot going into the second half. Hats off to them for turning it around and managing to pull that out, even with a blown call, really helping them out. But I mean, hey, they still had plays after that, so there was opportunity for Philly to stop them right there too. So. Just throw that out there as well, because I don't have enough people in Philadelphia hating me.
Good Lord. Well, we'll talk about the commercials in a moment here, but I got to say, sir, we have something going here. I think we need to market this. I think the next Super Bowl, we need to reach out to the respective PR core of either team and just say, look, 2-0 right now. If we pick your team, you will lose. Yeah,
we're going to run an extortion scheme on an NFL team. We'll see how that goes.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Q Morgan Freeman from Batman. Good luck.
That's right. That's right. What about the ad? Speaking of Morgan Freeman, not that he was in one, but just he's an actor. So.
I was going to say, you got to say, Serena Williams had the widest swing of no pun intended there, tennis. Had the widest swing of like, hey, a pretty good commercial too. Oh, please don't.
Yeah.
Like the Caddyshack commercial. I mean, it was kind of meh, but I mean, it is what it is. The trying to do the any given days, any given Sunday speech, just don't. Just don't. Like, you're not an actor.
Yeah.
When it comes to female athletes, certainly when it comes to, tennis players of any kind, male or female, GOAT. No question. No argument from me. You're not an actor. And I don't know why someone thought that she was going to be able to deliver a Pacino-esque performance. Just call Al. I'm sure he'd do it.
I didn't take it that way. There was definitely kind of a aspect to the ads where they were, really kind of putting the spotlight, on the female athlete. There was that one with the gal who does the flag football, and she's like running,
which that one was really cool. I liked it. Yeah,
that was really cool. I don't know if you caught it, but the flyby I guess they did was all female pilots. So I don't know if that was just a theme that.
Oh no, I totally get it, and I'm fine
across,
with her being in a commercial, but it's like that speech. I had to I literally went and queued it up on YouTube so I could watch the real one as a palate cleanser, and it's like it's night and day. That movie is not exactly the greatest flick ever made, but Pacino in that scene, probably if there's a scene in a movie where an actor should have just gotten an Oscar for one scene, it's a good argument.
All right.
He just went full loco on that one.
Till bozo.
Anyways, but. That was, overall, I thought the one of the clever ones was the Miller Lite Coors Light that ended up being the Blue Moon commercial.
that does get the innovation award, I believe. That was well done.
That was pretty interesting. I didn't see that coming. That was squarely there. What else was there?
I'll tell you one of my favorites, and I texted my younger son because he binged the show as well. But Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul, bringing back Walter White, Jesse Pinkman, and then not to be outdone, let me find his name, Raymond Cruz as Tuco Salamanca. He was right there demanding, they got 6 flavors, give me 7. That guy has been in so many flicks where he's played like this just psycho villain guy. It's so funny.
Hey, when you're good at something.
I thought it was great to bring him back in that commercial.
I thought the Dodge premature EV or whatever.
Gosh.
I thought that was. I appreciate the fact that okay, you managed to take this concept and you carried it out to the nth degree.
Mm-hmm.
Points for that. I'm really sick of the whole I can't tow a 50,000 pound trailer with an EV. No kidding.
Yeah.
It's not meant for that right now.
Yeah.
Duh. I might run out of charge. Well, how long is your commute? 20 minutes? You're probably going to be fine. I just get tired of some of those things because it's it really does start comparing apples and oranges. The technology isn't there yet. Just let's just work within what is reality, shall we? Full points though for concept delivered perfectly though. It looked like any kind of drug commercial, especially the ED commercials that it's supposed to be like. Points for nailing that, no doubt. But I just get annoyed with the concept because I'm it's kind of a dumb argument. But anyway,
yeah.
What else?
The Ben Affleck working at the Dunkin' Donuts was fantastic.
That was yes, that was glorious.
That was.
And then J-Lo showing up at the end with is this what you do when you say you're going to work?
Get me a glazed.
Yeah, I love that part. That was great. So great. Like Ben Affleck going full on Chucky.
Yes.
Boston accent. Because that's not the way that Ben talks, know. Oh, but it was great.
Maybe we can include in the show notes his younger brother was on SNL back in, I think it was 2015, 2016.
Yeah, the Dunkin' guy.
They did a phenomenal spoof of the Dunkin' Donuts commercials of that point in time. And we need to link that because it's wicked smart. And the thing I love is especially there's one point in the commercial where he's standing there doing the commercial bit and he's got his arm out the exit door window
he's
with a
smoking.
cigarette. I'm like, I remember seeing people do that.
Yeah. Yep. That was a thing.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
What were your thoughts on the halftime show?
I was kind of in and out of the halftime show. I'm not, not a big Rihanna fan, but I got to say, when I did, come back into the room and saw kind of the elevated, stage and everything that they were doing, I'm like, that was a really cool concept. I thought that was very, very interesting and just visually stunning. I liked it. I'm not big into her music, so I don't know one song from another. There's a couple I picked up on that I think are probably, her hits that have been on the radio or whatever. And those sounded all great, but overall I was just kind of cleaning up from dinner and stuff like that, so I really didn't take in a lot of it, but just visually I thought it was fantastic. And from what I've been reading, it just sounded like it was a pretty overall very well received performance, I think. But but it's just probably there's a little bit of the cultural disconnect there for me just not being plugged into her music. So
Oh yeah, I mean, we're not the target demo. We're middle-aged dudes. We are far from the 18 to like 24, 8. Or actually not. Isn't it? It's probably like 14 to like 30ish demographic that you're looking for. It's not our thing, especially me. Like I was thinking about it today. I'm like, my 3 favorite genres are old school funk, rock, and blues. Yeah, I'm not in on the dance pop neo R&B, genre. Mm-hmm. It's just not my thing. But so I mean, none of her stuff really does much for me in terms of songwriting. I mean, the woman can sing for sure, but like you say, it was a spectacle. Like the innovativeness of having those platforms, the lighting, dancers. I've heard some people say, "Oh, it's so generic." I'm like, yeah, but you know what? They were all on point. Mm-hmm. Like everyone was synchronized. It was on point the entire thing, and
genuinely just really unique and really different. Like I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
No, and they shot it really well. I mean, I'm sure they were using some drones and stuff like that, and just the cinematography. Hey, as a spectacle, 10 out of 10. Mm-hmm. I'll give it that. Musically, it's not my jammy jam.
Yeah.
The 2 things I kind of chafed at was, oh, this is her first live performance. I'm like, okay, she ain't singing. Okay. Like she didn't sing a lick in that show. Okay. Can we just be clear? If she did, it was very little, because it was too perfect. And there's a reason why most of those are lip synced and a lot of backing tracks is because you're setting up everything and tearing it down, and the performance is all contained within 30 minutes. Like It's really hard to coordinate all that and make sure it's right. There's no sound check.
Check.
But, and then the other thing that got me is when they bring out the quote unquote band to quote unquote play. I'm like, really? I mean, we all know that ain't a note of that broadcast anywhere. Mm-hmm. Like, come on. But I will say this, I don't know how far along Rihanna is along, but just going on my experience of pregnant ladies that I have known in my life, the fact that she was out there doing that, I mean, that's a lot of being tired, depending on where she's at in this whole thing, being sick, all of that, and she was on point. Like whatever, her movements, the little bit of dancing she did, the lip syncing. I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, for doing that, I'll give the extra points for that. I mean, if that were me, I would be like, I'm sitting on my couch. Heck with this.
Yeah.
I'm making another human being right now. I'm good. You don't need me. You don't need me to be on halftime. All right. But anyways,
absolutely. All right. Anything else on the events from last night? I think we've torn it apart pretty good.
I think we're good.
Want to mention it was funny to see the John Travolta T-Mobile commercial. That was fun.
Oh God, I can't stand Grease. So I saw that. I'm like, really? We're gonna haunt me. I just don't
like Grease.
I was more enthused with the 2 guys from Scrubs being there with him. I thought that was funny. But I mean, I don't like Grease. I'm sorry. I don't.
Oh.
I just don't. I I don't need that tone from you, sir.
No, I was doing the John Travolta. Oh.
See, that's how little I know. Anyways.
All right. Well, I think we've beaten this horse quite enough. So,
yes.
With all that, my friends, is our Super Bowl Week in Geek.
Well, I would say thank you, but we kind of tag team that one. So thank you to me. And now we're on to the main
I will take
subject.
a moment and thank you because I had zero prep and zero time to do prep, and I appreciate your flexibility in just rolling with this recommendation. 9 a.m. I'm like, dude, let's just talk about the Super Bowl night. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Because I knew that you were still having meat sweats from the other night. Didn't want to mess with you. You're just sweating out hollandaise sauce and grease at this point.
Gosh, yeah, still feeling it in the gut.
And you just went to you, sir, just came back from the gym, so you really are sweating this out.
I did. I had I'm doing a bit of boxing cardio with my trainer on Mondays, and got to tell you, after a month, my stamina is coming up a bit. I'm able to stay with him longer. We usually go about 20 to 25 minutes, and he has me throwing a lot of combos and things like that. And man, it's so, I told him, I'm like, and he's actually training to box in a match. And I said, man, I have a whole massive amount of respect for you guys because like just this 20 to 25 minutes, I'm not moving around nearly like he's very light on his feet. Really kind of reminds me of like, the Muhammad Ali style, of fighting, very light on his feet. And he's got, he told me he's got a big gas tank. He can go for a while and stuff. And so I'm just like watching him move and I'm like, dude, I could not, one round, I couldn't even get through one round, let alone 12. So it's like,
I got to end it in one round. Otherwise I got to finish the fight from a chair.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun doing it. And then Wednesdays I do strength and core. So that's kind of the plan right now. Strength and core and a little boxing cardio on Mondays. Well,
it's like with my trainer, I very quickly realized that even though I was doing arms and or I was doing legs or whatever, it's all core. It's all core. And I'm like, that's the dirty little secret of this whole thing. And she's like, yep, pretty much.
Yep.
Well, at least you're admitting it. And I can respect that.
There we go.
All right, enough sweating with the oldies. We're going to get on to the heart of today's episode. We're going to be looking at a whole bunch of rumors regarding the upcoming Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania blockbuster. I mean, it might be a blockbuster. Who knows at this point?
It's been 9 months since we've done this gimmick.
I know, and you know what? It kind of still feels too soon because we really...
Oh, stop it.
We beat the living hell out of this gimmick, sir. You got to admit.
It's a wonderful gimmick. We should do it more often.
It is. I'm just saying, we beat the hell out of it before. That's why it's been 9 months.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go through all of these rumors, and each one of us is going to assess whether or not we believe it is true or false. Now, our nomenclature, our buzzwords for true and false is the real, which is true, or the jabroni, which is false.
And all in honor of Shiki.
Shiki, baby. Listen, Bubba.
Humble you.
I put you in the camel clutch, break your back, and humble you.
He was a punk.
So we are going to go through these, and we're going to assess whether they are the real or the jabroni. Afterwards, we will, of course, after we've seen the movie, that does help to figure out whether or not we were correct in our assessments. The winner, are we still doing stakes on this? Not stakes with an EA in the middle, gambling stakes.
The typical prize for us is a reasonably priced, because we don't want any Pappy Van Winkle being traded here.
If you could find it.
Well, I was ordering your birthday gift a few nights ago, and I'm like, holy moly, that's pretty expensive, that Pappy.
Speaking of which, I actually got myself into a lottery for some bourbon bottles that were hard to find, and I did not get an email today, so I crapped out on all of them. So I'm hoping for some redemption in this.
Oh boy. All right. Yeah. So a reasonably priced bottle of bourbon chosen by the winner, supplied by the loser. Apparently now I can no longer ship things over FedEx or UPS. They're apparently they caught on to my shenanigans and my bootlegging, and I'm now confined to the apparently licensed members of the Liquor Society for shipping these things across state lines.
Big Liquor has got you, sir.
Is that what they're called?
I don't know. I'm just saying, if I had
it sounds a little ridiculous when you say it, but fine, I'll take it.
If I decided to open a liquor store, that's exactly what I would call it. Big Liquor.
Big Liquor. There you
just,
go. There you go.
Read into that whatever you want. James isn't here to comment on it, so thank goodness.
Indeed.
Yeah, sure.
I curated this list of rumors from
You invented half of these.
my brain. And then from a couple of sources, Screen Rant, which is always a sponsor of a Real and Jabroni, Movie Web, and another fun site called CosmicCircus.com.
TheCosmicCircus.com.
Oh, sorry, The Cosmic Circus. Thank you.
Just want to throw that out there. It's like if you say it's the Ohio, if you say Ohio State, it's like no, it's the Ohio State. Well, kiss my grits.
It's Rock. No, it's The Rock.
Yeah. Well, at least that one. I mean, the guy could, hurt you, but I mean, Ohio State couldn't. When was the last time they won anything?
That's right.
Anyway, now I got everyone in Ohio pissed off at me, along with everyone in Philadelphia.
You're just working your way across the nation right now.
What can I say about North Dakota?
Pennsylvania, Ohio, just work your way over to New York. Well, you're a Red Sox fan, so the New York fans are angry with you.
Well, what can I say about North Dakota? Actually, people in North Dakota just hate North Dakota, so there's nothing I can say. They're just miserable. I'm guessing. Calm down. Calm down.
Man. Uncle Todd.
Anyways, we got to get to these
other. A whole lot of emotion across this great nation.
Messing with my emotions.
All right. Are you ready, sir?
Oh, maybe not. We'll see.
Well, we typically break this Real and Jabroni into three sections. One pertaining to, especially movies like this, you never know. And now that we're getting into the multiverse, it really messes with our heads because now we really don't know what's going to happen.
Like we knew before.
Well, that's fair, but at least we were only dealing with one universe. Now we're dealing with the multiverse. So we have a section called In or Out, which is really about who will we see or not see, who will make an appearance or not make an appearance. We have a middle section, which is really about rumors and theories about the plot, called What's Up With That. And then instead of just focusing kind of on the end of the movie, it's about who may not make it through the movie. And
this is Tim's favorite category. Like, who's going to die? Who's going to die?
Johnny Cash special called When the Man Comes Around.
Death stalks you at every turn.
Grandpa?
Well, it does.
When is Becky Lynch going to come and punch someone in the face and stave in their skull, apparently?
So any questions, sir, on you like the new table I have in our show outline?
It is nice. If you'll notice, I did pin the top row, so you'll actually be able to see the columns when you scroll down. So you're welcome on that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So look at that. You are a technical maven.
I occasionally I have these moments. They are very few and far in between.
Indeed. Well, are you? Have you stretched out?
I stretch. Are you kidding? I
is
stretch.
Your quad adequately, stretched here?
My hammies are loose and warm.
Oh, good God! I need to know that. All right. Starting with number one.
Calves are feeling a little tight though. Glutes are perfect though. They're solid.
Good Lord!
Bounce a quarter off.
I was not prepared for that.
Just try to make sure you get to one side or the other. Don't go down the middle. That's all I'm asking.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's gonna be one of them shows, ladies and gentlemen. You okay over there? Need to get some oxygen?
I'm trying. Oh my God.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. I think I'm over that. Good
Okay.
God.
Alrighty.
I was not expecting that barrage of jokes from you, sir. So thank you. Oh my God.
I like to overshare.
Oh crap! I guess so. All right. Are we ready now that
You've asked me like 8 times. Yes, I am ready. Are you ready?
The chuckles out of my system.
Goodness.
Number 1.
Do I have to take you to the home? Are you forgetting that you're asking me this?
No, I'm set to go here. All right, number 1. We will see multiple Kang variants. Real or jabroni?
1 Kang, 2 Kang, red Kang, blue Kang. I mean, I'm
basically
guessing. Yeah, I think so. I'm going to go the real on this. Yeah, I mean,
all right. I'm typing in, or are you just going to say, or do you want me to type in?
I don't care. How you usually do the typing?
All right.
The raw. What are you saying, sir?
The raw. Will we see multiple Kang variants?
I love how you're acting like you have to think about this. Like you wrote this.
I know, but it's not like I sit there and stew over these. I write them, and then I move on to the next thing I have to do because I got like 50 things to do.
No, you're still stewing over the wrestling brackets that we're going to do in March, but you don't want to stew over
those are coming together nicely, by the way.
I just want to tell y'all, folks. Okay, so this is what we're going to we're working on something special for March Madness, and Tim forgot just how many teams or how many slots there are in a bracket, and he went instead of like a 16. Regions of 16 each to wind up with 64. This man had 64 in each region.
Well,
like we would be doing these shows for the next 8 months.
I was excited about the wrestling. I thought we had a lot of talent to go through, and I thought a 64 bracket was appropriate for every week. And Uncle Todd shot that down. So
had everyone. I'm pretty sure the Brooklyn Brawler was on a couple of these. Was when in one bracket? Like that's how far down you were going. Like
I was really scraping to get to 64, but yeah,
Barry Horowitz. Like
no, he would be in the 90s bracket. That's when he actually won a match and made it on pay-per-view.
Well, that's good. Good for him. Give him a pat in the back.
I think that was 95 against Skip of the Body Donnas.
You really need help, you know that?
Little trivia right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Good thing you're married, because as an opening line at like a bar, that ain't getting you nowhere.
Never would use it. All right. We will see Tony Stark, number 2.
That's
the real
Jabroni.
Or the Jabroni. I'm going to go the Jabroni as well on that one. I will answer one of these first as well, so you don't feel compelled to have to always answer.
Oh, excuse me.
Make this a little bit. No, I'll just go Jabroni. Okay. And then kind of in kind on that front, number 3, we will see Captain America. I will go the Jabroni. Now, the reason I brought these up is because we have been seeing in articles and heard the quote from the character himself that he has, he's killed the Avengers many times over. And so I was wondering if that would potentially show a flashback to said defeat, in which case we would see Tony or Captain America, but I'm going to say the Jabroni.
I'm going to go Jabroni as well. It's tempting because, again, I mean, you're thinking there's a whole lot of stuff that could be happening in rapid succession, but at the same time, there's limits,
Yes.
and we always, as a fan, we think it's going to be all cute to have 1,000 things happening, and Marvel's like, that's just not logical in a movie, and keeping it under 3 hours.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of which, at some point we have to talk about the Batman.
Oh, we didn't talk. Yeah, I guess that was an ad, and we never really talked. Well,
No, not the Flash, which they're trying to make into a Batman movie, so that we're not talking as much about Ezra Miller, the one-man crime wave. I'm talking about the Pattinson, the Batman that came out like last year or something.
Oh yeah.
And I finally got around to watching it. Holy crap! If there was ever a movie that did not need to be 3 hours long, it was that.
Yeah,
I'd rather see the 3-hour cut of Avatar than the 3-hour cut of the Batman.
Not a fan,
I don't want to watch either of them at 3 hours, but
yeah,
if I had to pick, at least I could tell what was going on in Avatar because it wasn't lit like, with 140-watt bulb in a lot of scenes. Yeah. Anyways, we'll have to chat about that some other episode.
All right.
This
number
one.
4, the free range idiocy honorary question of any real and Jabroni.
He's like our mascot at this point.
Basically.
Jeez.
Not our intern Patrick, but instead number 4, Mephisto will finally make his debut.
Actually, how do we know that Patrick isn't Mephisto?
He might be. Where has he been? You don't invite him over or something?
Yeah, I'm going to tell him where I live. Are you crazy? I actually he tried to follow me one day. Yeah. Thankfully, that Vespa broke down.
Oh, well, where is he then?
Well, he walked back he was back at the office 2 days later. Of course, I don't know where he was in the meantime, but he's a survivor. What can I say?
Oh, wow, that's high praise coming from you, sir.
Well, he has to be. I mean, he's kind of like a roach at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, I'll say this. What are the rules here? Because, I mean, with Mephisto being Mephisto, there's no way that you can say that he's not in it. He might be. You don't know that little kid isn't Mephisto. You don't know that lamp isn't Mephisto.
You've tried that stratagem before, and you have lost. You tried that with a womp rat, and you were soundly defeated with facts. So
you know what? I still maintain that was a womp rat. I forgot to ask Jimmy Dice about that. Because if there's one person who's
over.
Well, true. If there's one person whose opinion on womp rat biology I trust, it is one Jimmy Dice.
I think he and the Scruffies adjudicated that same question and came to the conclusion that it was not a womp rat.
I think I have other compelling evidence that we need to be bringing before the court here.
Rudy, if you want to keep running around to the judges, you do that.
I'm going to have my press conference at the Four Seasons Landscape and Office Supply Store. No, I'll go with Jabroni.
Oh my gosh!
Is it just me, or like with all the money that some folks have, and I'm not picking on anyone in particular here, but maybe I am. Like with all the money flowing around, like just do something with your hair, even if it's just shave it. Like instead of having like a weird thing going over, or like spray on hair, or like the stuff that is like the Just for Men that's been poured on so much that you're like sweating it down. And you just shave your head. Yeah. It's okay, you know. Like I'll tell you one thing. Like my hair is it's making the march to the back. It's not going quickly, but at some point I know the day is going to come when it's just like that's it. I'm done. That's it.
I've been sleek since I was in my early 20s.
Oh yeah, you've been aerodynamic, sir.
I have.
Yeah, like it's a sports version of the man they call Tim. You just need a spoiler.
I really wish. I'm going to share a little something here.
Oh boy.
Man they call Tim doesn't open up very often.
Oh,
when he does, he makes a count. But I'm going to say this. I really wish I had the attitude I have now when I was in high school, because that was something I actually got picked up because I was losing my hair when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I got I had some very uncomfortable situations happen where I had to just, kind of grin and bear it and just, make my way through it. Made me stronger, made me better. But looking back on it, I'm just like, you know what? Why couldn't I have been this way then? Because I think I would have handled it totally differently, felt good about it. And quite honestly, it's like, at the end of the day, who cares?
You would have you layeth the smacketh down.
Hair. It's hair. And guess what? I don't have to do it in the morning. I feel great about that. So
high school kids, man, just terrible since forever. Just since forever.
So,
all right, where are we now?
Aerodynamically sound is the way to go, folks. So,
yes.
Number 5, we are on number 5. We will see one or more members of the Fantastic Four.
This one's tempting because we know there is a Fantastic Four movie coming up. We know that Secret Wars is coming up. I know that if I'm remembering right from my comic book days, Secret Wars did have the Fantastic Four prominently featured. And
there's 2 post-credit scenes. So,
jeez.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go with the real. I'm gonna. This is the limb I'm gonna go out on.
All right. I'm going to go Jabroni. I don't really think it's going to happen.
Yeah. I just think it makes sense from a perspective of trying to introduce that one of those characters, you know?
Fair enough. Next one, number 6. Loki will make an appearance. I'm going to go the real on this one. Because if there's ever an option that has a likelihood to it, Loki is one of them, because we'll get to it in a later theory here, but I think there's a tie-in there.
I think there's a tie-in, but I also feel like Loki is a little too big. You know what I mean? Because you've already got Ant-Man and Wasp, who, I mean, granted, Wasp is not a huge character in the MCU thus far.
Mm-hmm.
She plays a part. She is definitely not on the same tier as like a Wanda or Captain Marvel, certainly, or anything like that. Ant-Man, but then you have Hank Pym. You also have Mrs. Hank Pym, Michelle Pfeiffer's role. I can't remember what her
Janet Van Dyne.
Yes, Janet Van Dyne. You have her. You've got Kang. That just feel, and then of course you have Bill Murray's character in there too,
Krylar.
It just feels like Loki would be too big of a character to just drop in here and not have a sizable impact.
Mm-hmm.
You know, mm-hmm. I'm going to go Jabroni on that one.
Ah, all right. We have 2 points of difference.
Jabroni.
The job.
That's the German spelling. Jabroni. Yeah.
Number 7, Sylvie will make an appearance.
That one's a little more tempting because that could work, but I'm going to go Jabroni.
I am going to go Jabroni as well. I don't think we'll see both of them. I think we'll just see one.
Yeah, I think they're going to be dealing with their own Kang as opposed to this Kang.
All right. And then last for the in or out section here, a member of the X-Men will make an appearance.
Ooh.
I left this very vague. I didn't name a specific X-Men. I just meant an X-Men, a mutant, will make an appearance.
Yeah, this is tempting because now we have had the M word uttered in the Marvel universe for the first time ever in Miss Marvel. So game on, and we know X-Men is coming at some point.
All right.
Gosh, but I mean, I'm going real. Why not?
All right. I
figured one of these two have got to play out.
I'm going to go Jabroni.
All right, you go right ahead.
All right, we can now enter into the "What's Up with That" section, which is more kind of around the plot.
What's up with that?
What's up with that? All right.
Yeah, okay. I don't even know the song. I'm just making crap up right now.
And we thank you for that.
Yeah, it's worked for 47 years, and hardly anyone's noticed.
Fake it till you make it.
I mean, all right. A few people have noticed, and usually they're the ones who are like, "See ya," and fair enough.
All right, number 9. As we've seen in the trailer, Cassie has been tinkering in the workshop, and this one
this always goes well.
The reason I put this one in here is I think one of either Screen Rant or what was it called, the Cosmic Circus, had a theory up there that it's possible. And it's a really stupid theory, but it's possible that, Cassie is working in league with Kang, which I don't really think is the case. So I just put this in here to just say that Cassie built the quantum realm device that is, communicating down to that point with Hank Pym, because she says we built it. So who is the we? And so I'm putting out here the theory that Cassie built the quantum realm device with her grandpapa. Or I guess it wouldn't be her grandpapa, but it would be her kind of step grandpapa.
I don't know. It seems kind of weird because you would think that Hank would have talked to Janet a little bit and she would have said, "Hey, you know what? If you ever get this idea that you're going to go to the quantum realm, don't." I kind of would have figured that would happen. I think it's going to be another we. No, Jabroni.
All right. It's going to be another we.
Or maybe she's just speaking the royal we. I don't know.
Could be. I'm going to go Jabroni as well on that one. I do not think it is Hank. So, and this is one of those slippery ones where, could be, like her boyfriend or something like that. which would be the ultimate disappointment to say, oh, it's the real. And you find out, my friend from school and I built this. It's like, oh, that's just
it's an overgrown science project.
Yeah, basically. God.
Which would fit in with kind of the Ant-Man sort of theme of things. That might make sense.
All right, number 10, MODOK is an ally of Kang. I'm going to go the real on this one.
I kind of know who MODOK is, but I believe isn't Patton Oswalt voicing this character?
No.
Oh, okay.
I thought they said Darren Cross, who played Yellow Jacket in the first Ant-Man and the Wasp, was going to do the voice, but I could be wrong. Let me see.
That'd be weird.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Well, didn't he get cast into the Quantum Realm? When he you saw Ant-Man.
Well, he just sort of disappeared. I don't know.
Where do you think he disappeared to?
I thought he just disappeared into a little puddle of stuff on the carpet. I don't know.
Yeah, it actually looks like Corey Stahl, who played Yellow Jacket, is going to play MODOK. Yep.
That's disappointing.
Disappointing because I was right.
No, I kind of want. I just like having more Patton Oswalt in my life. That's just me.
Anyways,
I'll go with real. It's a coin flip for me.
All right. Very nice. And now the antithesis of this, which is MODOK. Well, actually, it isn't. He could still be an ally, and then something works out. But MODOK is the reason Kang is stuck in the quantum realm. It seems from the trailer that Kang is stuck for a reason. Is MODOK that reason? Real Jabroni?
I'm going to go Jabroni. If anything, I think it's it might be He Who Remains is the reason why Kang is in there.
Very
maybe
nice.
It's his death is why things open up for him.
Very nice. We will get to that, sir.
Okay.
Krylar, Bill Murray, will betray the protagonists. I will say the real.
Yeah, he seems shifty.
I don't like the cut of his jib.
No. I don't know, but sure.
I know. All right. This next one was kind of interesting. And this comes from the Cosmic Circus, and this actually goes back to Thor: Love and Thunder. Kang, we find out, is a cosmic entity, and I can pull the article up if you would like.
So, but then what's the question? Because you say right here he's a cosmic entity, but then you say we know he is.
Well, the real Jabroni is we find out that he is, like, he isn't just a man; he is a cosmic entity.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because, so in Thor: Love and Thunder, I think it was toward the end when they were in that big, I don't know, cave thing where they were like fighting.
Okay.
I think they were trying to find eternity or something like that. There were 4 entities: death, entropy, infinity, and eternity. And the theory is that Kang is in fact entropy. And entropy's purpose is destruction. This drive pits him in a constant struggle with eternity, whose goal is creation. Together they keep the cycles of creation and destruction in balance. So entropy acts as the antagonistic force against eternity and his mission of creation. And since we know eternity is an actual physical being that exists, then it's likely that entropy also exists somewhere in the MCU. But where, might you ask? Enter He Who Remains and his variants. So the idea is that Kang could be the cosmic entity entropy, basically.
I'm gonna go Jabroni.
Sounds cool though, doesn't it?
It does, but it seems like a little too like.
It seems a bit much.
Yeah.
It does. I agree,
cute.
but I was looking to pad our list here and thought I would throw it in there.
I appreciate that.
Next one, number 14, we learn Janet Van Dyne and Krylar have a past. So one of the theories and rumors, and this may go back to the comic books, is that Janet and Krylar, when she was, trapped in the quantum realm for the period of time that she was, may have had a little flingy fling. So now this rumor is not directly related to that, but just more that she and Krylar just have a past, and so now they are reconnecting when she goes back. I'm going to go the real.
Well, first of all, ew. I don't need to picture Bill Murray with anybody ever. I'm going to go real. I don't think it's a romantic thing. I think that there might be some bad blood, or there has been some stuff there. But I don't believe it. I don't believe it's romantic. I'm going to hope for that.
All right. Oh, shoot. I think I meant to take this one out, but we'll do it anyways. It may be in there twice, but Cassie, Scott's daughter, will develop into a hero / Avenger by the end of the film. I'm going to go the real.
I don't know. Because we do seem to be heading towards a young Avengers sort of thing. I mean, we've already got Miss Marvel in play. We've got Ironheart in play.
I think she's going to carry the torch.
See, here's the thing. I don't necessarily buy that Scott Lang is dying in this one.
All right.
And I know that you're full on. Like you're already like chiseling his tombstone at this point. Mm-hmm. I don't quite buy that. I'm going to go the Jabroni on this.
Ah, very nice.
I think she could possibly end up as a member of the Young Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it happens in this movie.
All right. Now, as to what you alluded to earlier, sir, number 16,
yes.
The finale of Loki season 1 will coincide with the events in the quantum realm, or in Quantumania. So I can reword this and state it more specifically, but basically saying what you said, which is Kang is stuck because the events of Loki season 1 have yet to take place, and when they do is when he gets loosed.
Jabroni.
So that's what I mean by this.
Jabroni.
Okay.
No, but I don't buy it. I think that I'm
going to go the real.
I think they're separate.
Okay.
I think just the idea that those two things are happening, like because it would have to be almost like a coinciding sort of thing. I just don't think that's it.
All right.
I think they can both definitely happen in separate areas at separate
I have my
times.
theory.
I'm sure you do,
but I don't want to say it because I may sway you. So,
okay.
I want this as a separating moment here because
you
I
want your bottle, and I get that. You know what? I understand that. I'm hungry to get back on my win streak. I was doing very well in these, and then I think you've taken the last couple, and so it kind of hurts a little. Kind of hurts a little.
Dominance.
And I'm also trying to take away the trouble of you trying to ship things to me, because I've learned that shipping things to you is much easier.
Yeah,
and it is shipping to me.
Drizzly doesn't deliver out in your neck of the woods. Apparently.
I know, because the state of Maine still thinks that everyone's a freaking farmer. They don't want to get with a program and actually like jump into the 21st century quite yet.
Which, going back to the last episode, because we were talking, or I don't remember if we talked about this. You said you went to Portland, and parking is difficult in Portland. Do they have Uber out there or no?
They do. Yeah, it's just getting an Uber from. It's not the same as getting
like out here where it's probably a bit more population dense, right?
Yeah, like there's less population density from here to Portland. So I mean, it's not like it's not like being around a major city, and the suburb just kind of basically abuts the urban center. It just sort of gradually fades into a suburb. It's just like, here's a town and blank space, and here's a town,
Yeah. Whereas out here, I was actually shocked by this. I didn't think it would actually work, but I was downtown late for a work event, and I really didn't want to walk to the train station, so I called an Uber, and I was actually able to take the Uber all the way back to where I parked my car in the suburb, and I was floored because I'm like, that it's like a 30-40 minute drive. And but they do it because I think there's always a chance they can pick someone up in the burbs who are heading back to the city. And so
you are much more likely to get an Uber in Portland going out somewhere than you are out somewhere going into Portland, unless you happen to luck upon someone who has taken that trip and it works out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we worked that out and has absolutely everything to do with Quantumania.
Exactly. Well, I mean,
now we know Uber.
Trying to park in Portland is like going to the quantum realm.
Yeah. See, there we go. Look at that. Worked it back in. Number 17, Kang needs Pym particles to free himself from the quantum realm. Real or Jabroni?
I'm going to say Jabroni.
All right.
I think it's something else.
I'm going to go Jabroni as well, because, I mean, let's face it, if it was Pym particles, he would just knock out Ant-Man and take his Pym particles. So.
Oh, yeah, we see him talking to him the whole time. And it's like, dude, the particles are right there.
Yeah. All right. Number 18. I was reading about this in some other articles, just more about the comics and stuff, and you can kind of see it a little bit, or something that looks like it in, I don't know if it was in the trailer or just like still pictures from the movie, but apparently Kang has a time chair, and this is just basically saying that this will come into play. So the time chair will come into play in some way, shape, or form in Quantumania.
It'd be great if it was like an old school, like folding lawn chair. That'd be great.
He just walks out, folds the thing out. Here it is.
And it's got like one of the straps is like busted.
And he goes to one of his underlings. Where's my koozie? I had a koozie.
Exactly. That would be great. That's like Redneck Kang. That's one of the other variants.
Hey, that could be one of the variants.
And I say that as a place where, I mean, that's actually could happen in Maine as well.
Oh,
anyways, I'm going to go real. Why not?
All right. I'm going to go real as well. It seems like it's something that is in play. Number 19, Ant-Man/Kang's deal, because we get a sense in the trailer that there is a deal cut between them, will center on recovering the 5 years that Ant-Man lost. I should say Ant-Man, because he could be either one of them. So Ant-Man was in the quantum realm for a 5-year period, was brought back by the errant rat that basically stepped on the button that brought him back, and he lost this time with his daughter. And so I'm wondering if the deal that is being cut between the two of them is because Kang can do trickery with time and can, from what I read, create multiversal realities or branches, that Ant-Man takes him up on it to reclaim that time.
Man, this one's tempting.
I'm going the real on it. I think it's what it is.
It does seem like very much a Scott Lang sort of thing, so I'll go real.
I
mean, he's done. I mean, what hasn't he done for the sake of his daughter in this? It totally makes sense.
Now, this one's interesting. Number 20, Kang will send Ant-Man to a newly created timeline.
I mean, at some point, are we talking like this is where he ends up, or it doesn't matter?
Like where he ends up, like at the end of the movie? No,
yeah.
I mean, it's not meant to be permanent. It's just meant to say that at some point in the movie, Kang will send Ant-Man to a newly created timeline. Maybe he does it to prove, like, hey, I can do this, and so if you do this thing for me, I will do this for you. Almost like, kind of proving that he has the power.
Like
I've got the power.
He has the touch. You got the touch.
Yeah.
You got the power.
Oh,
yeah. Very nice. Anyways, sure, I'll go the real on that. Why not? It kind of seems like a plot point that would happen.
I'm going to go the real as well. Maybe it's that whole thing where you see him kind of like walking to a movie opening or something like that. It's like kind of this like faux reality sort of thing.
Maybe.
All right. Well, that wraps up. What's up with that? What's up with that?
And now we come up to they needed killing section.
Law dog, law don't go around here no more. Savvy?
Jeez.
Yes, we're savvy.
Yeah.
All right.
I shut up. So great.
Here it is. The the one rumor that will separate the men from the boys, Ant-Man sacrifices himself and dies battling Kang. I am going to die on that hill myself. So
of course you are. I'm going Jabroni.
Of course you are.
I'm just telling you, I don't buy it.
All right.
I think it's such the obvious play.
All right.
I think we're getting a swerve.
Gotcha. All right, next one. We're just going to go right down the lineup. Hank Pym dies.
This one I think is the more likely. I think Hank Pym, going back to the fact that Hank Pym and Janet were, the original Ant-Man and Wasp were OG Avengers in the comics. I think there is a way to say that Ant-Man. This could be. You need to actually clarify. Scott Lang sacrifices himself because Hank Pym was Ant-Man.
Well, let's just.
So you could have that interpret that as well.
For this,
he could take up the mantle again in this movie somehow.
For simplicity's sake, when you see Ant-Man, it is Scott Lang. I will not refer to Ant-Man as Hank Pym. I know Hank Pym was Ant-Man.
All right.
I'm calling Hank Pym.
Okay, we have it on the record now. So I'm going to say real. I think Hank Pym is going to be the one to make the sacrifice.
All right. Let's see. Well, I guess I got to say Jabroni, or I could say both of them could die.
Yeah, if you want to try and play that game, go right ahead.
Let me see, because if I go Jabroni.
Oh my gosh, you're turning into Wallace Shawn and Princess Bride now. Well, surely I can't take the glass that is in front of you. Your intellect is truly dizzying. I haven't even gotten started yet.
All right, I went the real on this one.
Oh gosh, you are.
Number 23, Janet Van Dyne dies.
Jabroni.
All right, so you don't think that's going to happen. I will go with you on that one. 24, Cassie dies. I'm going to say Jabroni on that. I don't think
good, because even you can't wish death on the kid in the movie. That's good. Good. You haven't completely lost your soul.
No, because it goes against my earlier one where I say she's going to be an Avenger at the end. So what?
Still. So you'd happily offer if it meant. I am going to go with Jabroni as well.
All right. Number 25. I'm going to go real on this one. MODOK is destroyed.
I'm going to go Jabroni. I mean, I don't think you're going to. I don't think they're going to introduce a character and then just kill him off, like a bad guy. They have few enough bad guys right now. Like, it would seem to me a very poor move.
Well, they're about to have a bunch of Kangs, dude. They don't need a MODOK.
I don't think that's going to be the permanent state. I think you are going to see multiple Kangs in the movie, but I think ultimately you need to have one that becomes the Kang that you're the entire hinge point for this story.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually you're getting your one Kang. One Kang, that's all you need.
I'm going to say the real on this. I think MODOK's going down.
All right. We'll see.
A sacrifice for a sacrifice.
All
Is
right.
that what the guy says in Valorum or wherever they get the Soul Stone? Anyways.
Sure. Red
Number
Skull.
26.
Oh, it was just a soul for a soul.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, a soul for a soul. You're right. All right, number 26. Cassie will become Stature. And so Stature is apparently in the comics what Cassie Lang actually does become, which I think is kind of an offshoot of the Ant-Man, sort of like suit, but with, I think she can do it more like at will, and she struggles to control it or something like that. So, so this is basically saying that, by the end of the movie, Cassie will become this hero called Stature.
Jabroni. I think it's too much to happen in one movie.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Number 27, we will see, this is going to be a tough one. We will see a flashback to Kang battling and defeating the Avengers.
This is tempting because the fan in me wants to see this.
I know.
What did I say up here before? I went Jabroni on Tony Stark and Captain America. You know what? I might go with this. I'm going to go real.
Excuse me.
Jeez.
Sorry, that one was percolating.
I thought for sure I was getting yelled at or something.
Sorry, I tried to steer away from the microphone.
Gosh.
Oh, here, hold on a minute. Sorry.
I'm leaving all this in, I hope you know. Like that is podcast gold. I'm leaving all this in.
Including my comedic meltdown.
That totally, yeah. I'm going with the real. Yeah. Let's get it. Let's go with the fanboy in me and go with something I really want to see.
As much as I would like to see that too, I really want that bottle of bourbon, so I'm going to go Jabroni.
All right. I know you're calculating this as you go along.
I am. Number 28.
Yes.
This is a good one. The movie ends with Kang starting the multiversal war and taking over different universes. So we actually see him start to unleash his wrath upon the multiverse.
I mean, it makes sense, but I mean, I'm just wondering how you do that from a story perspective going forward and how you stretch that over a lot of movies without it just becoming like a route somehow.
Well, I kind of look at it as, and maybe this isn't the best example, but I kind of look at like the way the Eternals ended, because in a way, you're kind of waiting for whatever this judgment is to come to pass on Earth, right? And it just hasn't happened, but it was still kind of it was an end, you know?
True.
So that's where I'm just kind of wondering, like, he may start it, and then the other stories we see kind of in phase 5 are kind of either in parallel or just timed out where he hasn't maybe made his way to, Earth 616 or whatever they're called.
All right. You convinced me. I'll go real.
All right. And then number 29, our last rumor of the night, when the man comes around, a post-credit scene will involve an original Avenger being alerted to Kang's presence. Real or Jabroni?
I'm going to go with the real, and it's going to be Bruce Banner.
All right. I'm going to go the real, too. I think it's going to be Brucey. All right. We have all 29 done, sir. We have, let's see. Let me just go back through this. Got 1, 2, 3. Let me see. 4, 5, 6, 7 differences. 8 differences. Sorry.
Wow.
8 different theories where this is anyone's game at this point.
That could really, usually there's like 2 or 3, so this could really flip-flop back and forth a couple times.
It could. This could be like the Eagles and Chiefs, and I'll be the Chiefs. I need to
get a holding penalty. Where can I buy one of them?
You know, the worst part about that stuff is when you see like watching Mahomes like signal to the ref to call it. I hate it when they do that stuff. It just drives me nuts. It's like, of course you want it.
It's the most like, it's just what happens, I mean, and it's been going on for a long time. You can go back to the 80s and stuff like that. And
it's a pass interference thing too. Like when these guys go down and like the defender isn't even in the zip code of where that guy is, and he's like, what happened? Come on, throw a flag. It's like, no one touched you. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, hey, at least it wasn't LeBron-esque,
It's not great acting, which was another good ad. Those Pepsi ads with the I'm acting, or am I?
Those weren't bad.
Funny.
I will say, yeah.
Those were. I like Steve Martin. He's funny.
Yeah, Ben Stiller was kind of funny though.
Yes, he was. Yeah, it was good to see Zoolander there.
And another thing.
All right, sir. What have you got for and another thing this episode?
Well, my and another thing is the furthest thing from adjudication as we have just done here. It is just bringing actually back something I probably have used before, because that seems to be my gimmick lately. Moving Pictures, the album by my favorite band, but one of the best rock bands, was featured for a second in a Super Bowl ad when Dave Grohl eloquently went through all the different things that Canada has espoused upon this earth.
That's right.
Is Rush. Moving Pictures by Rush. Yesterday was their 40th anniversary since the album debuted. And so I thought it apropos, also because I had nothing else in the hopper, to bring this forth and encourage our listenership to, if you have not listened to Moving Pictures, please do listen to it. We actually, in some of our very early episode, did a review with, or we did an album one-on-one between Rush and, was it Bare Naked Ladies?
No,
I thought it was all Canadian.
Oh, that's right. It was Bare Naked Ladies. Yeah, so it was Moving Pictures and then and Gordon by Bare Naked Ladies.
Thank you, by Bare Naked Ladies. So, so do check that out. One of our past episodes. I don't have the episode number off the top of my head here, but Moving Pictures by Rush features Tom Sawyer and YYZ and a lot of just some of the finest work that they did. This is viewed as kind of not the pinnacle for them, but they achieved a lot of pop fame through this, which was just not normal for them. They were always kind of the I don't know how to put it, the geeky, pimply kid at the high school dance standing in the corner. That was kind of Rush for a long time, and then they became the cool kid all of a sudden. So,
which funny enough, I know someone who Rush played at their high school when they were in high school.
Oh wow!
They were
caught him during the high school touring days, huh?
Yeah, they went to high school in Michigan, and so it was just a hop, skip, and a jump across the border, and they saw Rush play at their high school.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's
Neil Peart, Alex Lifeson, Geddy Lee, the Holy Trinity right there. Rush. Check it out. Moving Pictures, 40th anniversary. It looks like Uncle Todd's going to link the album one-on-one episode. So we thank you and check it out.
Well, mine is going to be of a slightly more literary nature, keeping in kind of step with our previous episode talking about the Thrawn books. This is something completely different, though. This is True Grit by Charles Portis of now they've made at least two films with it. John Wayne was in one. I believe Jeff Bridges was in the remake a few years ago. Story of a young girl who is out to avenge the death of her father, and essentially hires a deputy marshal who to basically go and try and catch or kill the man who killed her father. And it's interesting. I have not read really any Westerns. I'm not a huge Western fan. I mean, there are a few that I really did enjoy. Of course, Tombstone. Oddly enough, I'd probably, if I had to rate favorite Westerns, and there's not a ton of them. I mean, of course, Blazing Saddles is in there, but I mean, that's kind of a spoof on Westerns, but it still counts. Tombstone, The Quick and the Dead, I think is hugely underrated as a Western. Fantastic movie. But I really haven't seen a lot of Westerns, and I certainly haven't read a lot of Westerns. And I kind of think I'm going to try and work a few more in because it's very interesting. This writing is very old-timey, very stilted. It's told in the first person from the perspective of the young girl. And it's just something completely different from what I normally read, which is kind of, I tend to read some really kind of weird books, bios, some nonfiction, and then sci-fi. So getting into a Western was interesting, to say the least. And this was one that came highly recommended by a writer and artist, Austin Kleon, who I follow on all social media. But I would highly recommend it if you've never read a Western before, or if you happen to have somehow missed this one. It's pretty much regarded as a classic, and it's not a gigantic tome. I think the version I have, it's like 225, 226 pages. It's not going to take you forever and a day to get through this thing. Yeah. So give it a look. I'll have it linked in the show notes. You can also, I imagine, probably pick this up at your local library. Once again, always going to stump up for some libraries. Great things. So check that one out.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is about that time, and let me do a time check. And sweet freaking Moses, and
we can do it.
Holy cow, I can't believe it. We might actually get I'm not going to jinx it. Thank you for tuning in. We do appreciate you listening, and if you have such an inclination as to subscribe to our humble little podcast here on the interwebs, you can go to freerangeidiocy.com. You can find all of our episodes there. If you so desire, you can subscribe right through the Podbean app. If you are not looking to have another app in your life, then go right ahead and find us on any podcast purveyor of your choice. We are on Apple Podcasts. We are on Amazon, Alexa, whatever the heck their podcast platform is. We're on there. I just don't know what the hell to call it. We're on Spotify. We are on Pandora. We are on Google Podcasts and many others. Just search for Free Range Idiocy. I'm sure that we are the only people out there broadcasting proudly that we are idiots. Most people on the internet just do it by accident. You can also find us on the social medias. We are on Facebook. We are on the Instagram. We are also on the YouTubes. All those are at Free Range Idiocy. We used to be on the Twitter, but, screw the mollusk. And you can also reach us via the email. Electronic mail, ladies and gentlemen. It is the wave of the future. Tim at freerangeidiocy.com is the address that you want to have. If you want to send us any correspondence, you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, offers of outright bribery are not beneath us. No, indeed. We will listen to all offers. You can also make suggestions of shows. So if you have any thoughts of what you would like for us to say out of our mouth holes, we're all ears. Why not? I mean, because quite honestly, we're running out of ideas. So send those to Tim at freerangeedc.com, and he'll get back to you post-haste, ASAP, PDQ, if not sooner. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the portion of the show where I finally stop flapping my gums, and I hand this over to the man who is the less idiotic of the two idiots running this show. Granted, again, it is a very low bar to clear, but he does it with panache and excellence every single time. I turn to the man they call Tim, and I ask him the second most important question to ever be uttered by human mouth holes. The first, of course, being, what is hip? The second being, what the hell did we learn this episode?
We've learned the following.
I'm always so happy when you have a list. It's comforting.
We've learned that the man they call Tim can guffaw with the best and sneeze with the best, too, apparently.
That was mostly wheezing, not guffawing. I really thought you were having an asthma attack. I was concerned. I should probably have emergency contact information for your wife just to let her know, like, Tim might be passed out on the floor.
We have also learned that Uncle Todd apparently can bounce a quarter off of his gluteus.
I mean, I'm not
his
bragging.
His claim, not mine.
I'm not bragging. I'm just stating facts. I'm just saying I've been doing a lot of squat work, and, you get them just, and they tighten up, and
here we go. We've also learned that here at Free Range Idiocy, we now have a streak that is marching slowly toward that of The Undertaker.
Of infamy.
Of curse. So next year, whoever's in it, send some money our way.
Yeah.
We won't pick you.
It's an awful nice team you got there. It'd be a shame if someone spoiled it.
We're 2-0. We pick you, you're going to lose.
It is about as safe a bet as you're going to get these days.
And we've also learned Quantumania. A lot of interesting stuff going on there. Looking forward to seeing that. We're going to be seeing it this Saturday. We're going to do a late morning, early afternoon kind of matinee of it with our son. And looking forward to seeing that with him. So, yeah, do check it out. We will adjudicate these results in short order so that bourbon can be paid out to the proper winner, me. With all
Pride cometh before the fall, sir. Just remember.
Hey, look, I'm not claiming things can bounce off my gluteus. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe you better start. I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe that'll be an upcoming reel on Instagram. I don't know.
With all that being said, could be.
Tim just moving right over that one like I don't want nothing to do with this.
All that being said, we thank you, as Uncle Todd has already stated. I will reinforce. Thank you for your listenership and for giving us a listen here. We actually, final thing that we did learn, we can keep it under 1 hour and 30.
Yeah, well, not if you keep this up.
I'm just saying. All right. Well, as we like to close things out, be safe, be healthy, be kind, be good to one another. And, I toyed with the idea of leaving the lights on as we left, but quite honestly, we could make some money off this curse thing. So until then, we still need to save a few shekels. So please, would you hit the lights on the way out?
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking.
I beg your pardon, what did you say?
You're such a disappointing pair. I prayed so hard for you. Get out. And don't come back until you've redeemed redeemed yourselves.
And if we're going to save some money, can I borrow a quarter from you?
Now get the hell out of here!